This video is part 2 of our art medium exploration. If you did not watch part 1, go back and watch that to draw our composition and our tools.
All right, so the first one I'm going to do is a pencil. Now, this is what I want you to practice with your pencil. Pencils, you can draw light. So try drawing some lines that have little to no pressure, so they're really light. Pencils also can be dark if you push kind of hard. So do some dark lines too. Pencils can shade, light, and dark. So show me that you can shade with your pencil to be light and dark. You can also use the side of a pencil to make different marks. So show me you can make marks using the side of the pencil. And pencils can be really, really smooth, almost like there are no lines at all. So show me that you can make your pencil really smooth. You might even want to use your finger for that to show that it can spread out. So a lot of these will vary depending on pressure, or in some cases it might be water or overlapping. But let's see what kind of marks we can make with these other mediums. So with a crayon, first of all, it can be lots of different colors. So I'm going to pull out a few different colors with crayons. I'm gonna pull out the primaries. So crayons can also be very light and very dark. So show me light and dark with crayon marks. Crayons can also shade in colors without a lot of lines. Crayons can also mix. So if you do layers on top of each other, they can look like they are mixing. So show me that you can overlap crayons so that way they can mix. Next one will be markers. Markers aren't really pressure sensitive, so they're going to be the same value, lightness and darkness. But the great thing about markers is that you can do thin lines and then also thick lines. So show me that you can do thin lines and thick lines depending on either if you're using the top of the marker or the side of the marker. Color pencils are going to be a lot like crayons. You can do light and you can do dark. Like normal pencils, you can shade light and dark. So show me that you can do light and dark with your color pencils. You can also blend, kind of like I did with my crayons. So if I have a layer of color, I can blend it with another color to make a new color. You can also use the side of a color pencil. I'm going to go over to the pen next. So if you have a ballpoint pen, they actually do have the ability to kind of shade light and dark. If you're using more of a gel pen, it might not let you do that. But see what kind of marks you can make with a pen. You'd be surprised how versatile a simple pen can be. It doesn't really get thicker and thinner. Oh, maybe it does, just a little, depending on your pressure. Now, paint. If you're using normal paint, you can make some marks with that. But I'm going to make some marks using paint. With watercolor, you can have it be very flowy. You can also do something called dry brush. I'm not going to dip my brush. I'm just going to dip into kind of the goopy part of the paint. And dry brush actually makes marks as well. But see how it's not very smooth? You can also mix colors. See what happens if I get a new brush. I do blue over here. If you let paint dry, you can paint on top of it. But see how many different kinds of marks you can make with paint, depending on what kind of paint you have. If you don't have paint, you can imitate some of these marks with a drawing material, but fill in some big areas and some more detailed lines in your paint section. The last one is scissors and glue. Now that's not our last art material we can possibly use. There's other materials and mediums that are sculptural or like clay. But for scissors and glue, I am going to do two things. One is I am going to cut a few little pieces of paper to glue down. I'm also going to rip a few pieces of paper to make a different kind of texture. If you do not have scissors and glue or other paper, you can just draw different shapes that you could possibly cut out. So you could, there you go. You could draw a shape that you could cut out instead of actually pasting one down. This one I'm going to rip. And usually when you paste things down like this, it's called collage. There you go. Now I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different medias or mediums in this artwork. Do your best. At least draw the different tools that we're using, and can't wait to see what kinds of mark making you can make from a single type of medium.